Welcome to What's Neu. I'm your host, Justin Jones. In this video series, we're keeping it simple. Quick conversations, fresh perspectives, and a look at what's really going on inside NeuGroup. Whether it's trends, surprises, what people are buzzing about in meetings, or even slightly off-topic conversations, this is where we break it down. As NeuGroup's second half meetings are getting underway, in this episode, we're going to take a look back at the trends, tensions, and breakthroughs that define the first half of 2025, from the rise of self-built AI tools to the return of global political uncertainty. To help me out, I'm joined by NeuGroup founder and CEO Joseph Neu. How are you doing, Joseph?
I'm doing good. Really excited to be your first guest, Justin.
So let's start with the big picture. What do you think is driving uncertainty in treasury and finance teams right now, and how are corporate finance professionals responding and navigating the seas?
Well, it's a big question to start off. Obviously, I really like. We had the CEO of one of our sponsors a number of years ago characterize this period of interregnum, or this period between world orders and a transition that happens, which is usually pretty uncertain and rocky. And it feels like we're in one of those transitions, and I think that's probably independent of Trump or any other geopolitical things that are happening in any given country, but just kind of the overarching global order. And with that, you mentioned, or we're going to talk about, I guess, AI inevitably, but there's also this sense that AI is coming, and there's going to be a huge leap forward in technology and what that's going to bring, with a lot of potential uncertainty about what human work looks like, and what we're even going to do with ourselves as AIs do more of the work for us. So I think all that contributes to a feeling of uncertainty, but hopefully also a feeling of optimism and opportunity.
And on that note, you mentioned AI and automation, and I think that a lot of CFOs are encouraging their teams and encouraging their treasurers to be flexible and be innovative, and to go out and find those ways that new technologies can be applied. Where have you seen treasury teams find traction, and what might be holding them back actually from AI implementation?
Well, I think there's a few parts to this. I mean, the first is, if you're in uncertain times and you're not sure what to do, and there's a feeling that there's things beyond your control, you tend to turn to, or you want to turn to, things that you can control. And so I think there's a lot of attention being paid to things like workflow automation that starts with cash forecasting and other planning. And I think this really, in among other things, give practitioners more time to think strategically and plan and figure out how to navigate the uncertainty, and think about it across a variety of different scenarios. And so if you think about, one of the top of mind issues seems to be cash forecasting using AI. And, in one way that's to get more accurate forecasting using these AI tools. But in some ways it's to take a fairly tedious process that's time intensive in putting together the cash forecast and shortening it and automating. And this brings up, kind of one of the key takeaways that I found the most interesting from our discussions with members in the first half. And that is, a real focus on self-built applications, workflow automations, and other kind of supporting tools that are being constructed by the finance practitioners themselves, either using their coding skills in Python or other similar data analytic centric programming languages, but also, of course, with the AI coding tools. This vibe coding concept is quite interesting.
Yes, and to me, the thing that's exciting about AI is not the way that it replaces the work that some people do, but can enhance and in some ways enable experts to do work that they didn't even think was possible, and add even more value. And on that note, I've heard you talk really since I joined NeuGroup in late 2020 about how Treasury is becoming more of a partner to the business, and Treasury is doing more strategic work. So I'm wondering, in the last 6 months, in the first half of this year, how you've seen Treasury add value and where you think that's going to go through the rest of the year.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had a pretty interesting discussion on, you know, what's sort of being called the business partnering role within finance, within Treasury, but also for the larger finance function. And this was in the context of a finance transformation that this company had undergone. And with that finance transformation, which kind of involved um, rethinking where finance fits in with the businesses on a centralization versus decentralization axis. With the idea that the businesses want to be decentralized and agile and forward thinking and putting more decision making at the front lines, whereas traditionally finance has been wanting to be centralized and efficient where it can have all the control. So if you think about the business partnering function where finance is working with the lines of business to help and empower them to earn more revenue and ultimately more profit on a risk adjusted basis, it comes time to make a decision of where you put these business partner people in these business partnering roles. Do they go with the lines of business at the local country level, which is pretty duplicative and causes you to have a lot of business partners all over the world? Do you put them in some sort of regional center, some sort of hub organization that may be separate from a regional finance center structure? And then where they reside also impacts what kind of people are in those roles, and then who they report to. Do they report to the people in corporate on a centralized basis? Do they report to the business heads? Do they report to the business finance leads? Do you have some sort of matrix structure? And I think more and more companies are trying to figure out the best way to structure this business partnering role, which really goes to this strategic finance idea that you mentioned, where finance takes on a mandate to empower the business to earn more revenue and more profit, and ultimately to generate more cash flow.
So I want to end these videos with a slightly off-topic question. And this week, since we're recapping the first half, is if there's a book, a movie, or a song that you enjoyed from the first half of this year.
A book or a movie or a song from the first half. I mean, in terms of a movie, I really enjoyed the Bob Dylan
Oh, nice.
biopic. I'm blanking on the name of it now.
Complete Unknown.
Complete Unknown. Yeah, with Timothy Chalamet. Is it?
Chalamet.
I think because of the Bob Dylan movie, I've kind of gone back into
Nice.
the Bob Dylan archives and really learned to appreciate all the songs that you kind of know, but you never really paid attention
Yeah.
to. And for some reason, Mr. Tambourine Man like sticks out of my mind, because I've been listening to a lot of Bob Dylan in the wake of that movie, and Mr. Tambourine Man. I think there was something about Mr. Tambourine Man in my childhood was probably something my father listened to, or maybe played on the guitar when we were kids. That it's kind of refreshed that memory. So a bit of a nostalgia trip on that song.
Yeah, getting to talk Bob Dylan on the first episode of this show is very on brand for me. I'm a huge Dylan fan.
Happy to contribute in that way, Justin.
Well, thanks for joining me for the pilot episode of What's Neu.
My pleasure. Thanks, Justin, for putting this together. Look forward to your future episodes.